Back to Info Bites, let's get into it. Cultural, legal, or social facts from around the world that represent a significant cultural shock. Some related to identity, social pressure, and disappearance in a figurative sense. Denmark's naming laws. Parents must choose baby names from an official list of about 7,000 approved names. Any deviation requires government permission. Iceland's naming committee. Similar to Denmark, Iceland has a governmental committee that must approve all names not already on a specific list, particularly if they do not conform to Icelandic grammatical structures or traditions. China's reincarnation law. In 2007, China issued a directive stating that Buddhist monks in Tibet must get government approval before they can reincarnate, a move widely seen as an attempt to control the selection of future lamas. Argentina's naming law, historical. Until a more liberal law was introduced, children could not be named after objects, brands, or names that sounded foreign or were not historically accepted to protect the child's identity. Indigenous identity in Brazil, historical. Historically, indigenous peoples' identities were often governed by the government's Indigenous Peoples Agency, sometimes requiring a legal process to affirm or reclaim their indigenous status. The Satoru phenomenon. Japan. A cultural shift where younger generations reject the traditional work and consume lifestyle, choosing lower-paying part-time jobs and minimizing their desires. It's a form of social withdrawal, disappearance from the competitive rat race. Meiwaku and shame, Japan. The core driver of Jahatsu. The cultural aversion to Meiwaku, causing trouble or burden to others, can be so intense that vanishing is viewed as the ultimate way to spare one's family or community from one's failure, debt, unemployment, etc. The concept of karoshi, Japan. Death by overwork. The cultural pressure for intense dedication to work can lead to literal death, recognized as a legitimate cause of mortality and subject to compensation. Filial piety laws, China. Some laws in China mandate that adult children must visit or financially support their elderly parents, with the potential for legal action if they fail to do so. Hate speech laws, Germany. Publicly denying or trivializing the Holocaust is a criminal offense, a stark difference from many countries where such speech might be protected by free speech laws. Strict lese majest laws, Thailand. Insulting or defaming the king, queen, or royal heir can result in severe prison sentences, 3 to 15 years per offense, dramatically restricting public and private speech. Squatting rights, various European countries. In some countries like the Netherlands or Spain, historically regionally, squatters can gain legal rights to a property after a certain period, effectively taking ownership or the right to reside from the legal owner. Public toilet use, Scotland. There is an ancient, unrepealed law that supposedly requires residents to grant strangers access to their toilet if requested, although it is not practically enforced. The right to roam, a lemons written, Sweden, Norway. A legal right that grants everyone the freedom to walk, cycle, ride, ski, and camp for a limited time on any land, except private gardens, cultivated land, or near a dwelling without permission. Burial plots before death, Sarporings. The mayor of a small French town once issued a decree forbidding people from dying within the city limits unless they had already secured a burial plot in the local cemetery, a protest against the inability to expand the cemetery. No chewing gum, Singapore. The sale and import of chewing gum is banned, with exceptions for therapeutic, dental, or nicotine gum from a doctor. Being caught spitting it out can lead to heavy fines. No frowning law, myth social pressure, Milan, Italy. While an actual law requiring citizens to smile is a myth, there's a strong social expectation for public composure and positive demeanor, a cultural shock for those used to uninhibited emotional display. Tipping as insult, Japan. In most restaurants and service industries, tipping is considered rude, confusing, or even insulting, as excellent service is expected as standard. Eating while driving, Cyprus. It is illegal to eat or drink anything, even water, while driving. The public bathhouse tradition, onsen in Sento, Japan, sharing a communal, often gender-segregated bath naked with strangers is a long-standing cultural practice, a major cultural shock for many Western visitors. Tattoos, often associated with the Yakuza, are frequently banned. No public displays of affection. India, Indonesia, Middle East. Depending on the region, even holding hands or a quick kiss in public between a couple can range from frowned upon to legally punishable as obscenity or indecency. Funeral pyres in public, India, Varanasi. The open public cremation of bodies along the ghats of the Ganges River is a daily occurrence. A very public and open confrontation with death that is culturally significant but shocking to outsiders. Walking over fire of various cultures, Greece, Spain, India. Practiced as a religious or spiritual rite of passage or purification ceremony. Walking barefoot over hot coals is a dramatic display of faith or mental focus. Sky burial, Tibet. The practice of cutting up the body and leaving it on a mountaintop to be consumed by vultures is a traditional burial custom based on Buddhist beliefs in the soul thus departure from the body, starkly different from interment or cremation. Lip stretching and plate insertion, Morsi tribe, Ethiopia. Women traditionally have their lower lip cut and stretched to accommodate a clay or wooden plate, a significant mark of female maturity and status. The Dani tribe's finger amputation, historical, Papua. In parts of the Dani tribe, women were historically expected to cut off a segment of their finger when a close family member died as a sign of grief. The practice is now discouraged. Bride price or dowry, various countries, Africa, Asia. The practice of the groom's family giving money or goods to the bride's family, or vice versa, the dowry for the marriage, which significantly changes a person's economic status and sometimes personal value in the eyes of their community. Informal economy of favors, Blatt. Historical, Eastern Europe, Russia. The importance of personal connections, favors, and informal agreements, Blatt, to navigate bureaucracy or daily life, where formal rules are secondary to who you know. The Majlis system, Gulf countries. A council or reception room where citizens can directly petition their ruler or local official with personal problems or requests, highlighting a highly personalized form of governance and access. No-fault divorce, Philippines, only non-Muslims. The Philippines remains one of the only sovereign states, alongside Vatican City, where divorce is not legal for the general population, though annulment is possible, and Muslims have different laws, effectively trapping individuals in an unhappy marriage and preventing them from a legal, fresh start.
We'll be making more similar videos. Please subscribe.